And welcome back to Plain Talk here on the White Pages. It is August the 10th, 2022, 8:15 in the evening. This is episode 70. Nice round number. We had our 200th stream and 100th anniversary of the White Pages podcast yesterday. If you weren't there to tune in live, I'd super appreciate it if you check it out after the fact. Just help us celebrate this momentous occasion of, still doing these programs however many months later. Almost 2 years now, actually. Why am I saying months? It'll be 2 years in October. So, just once again, as a sincere appreciation of all the support we've gotten over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. 200 streams, 100 episodes. I appreciate it. Thank you. It was great. So, you were telling me about how it's so hot that the maple syrup is drying up.
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak. So let's figure out. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's put some science on there.
I just, I was having a conversation with my friend Noli the other day. Well, not the other day now, it's a couple months ago now, but she asked me about, like, is it cool to talk about the weather? And I was like, yeah, weather isn't, yeah, weather is quote unquote small talk, but like weather is the most common and universally understood problem. We all have to deal with the weather. There is no escaping the weather. And so talking about the weather is very natural because it's an easy thing to bond over. And Jesus fucking Christ, what's been up with the goddamn weather?
Yeah.
We had a very blissful, beautiful day here for the first time in a month. Where it was like nice and pleasant to be outside, and I get home and you're telling me that it's been so damn hot that we're not getting enough maple syrup.
Yeah.
It's syrup and blueberries. That's all we got. That and potatoes up in the county. And so, and the potato harvests have been having trouble for years now. So, like, if we start losing our syrup.
If I may push my actually glasses up the bridge of my nose. Actually, I don't know if this is still true anymore, but when I took the tour, you know what the number one export of Maine is? It's not blueberries.
It's dirt, isn't it?
It's toothpicks.
Really?
Yeah, because what are toothpicks made out of? Pine.
Yeah, that's all our lumber. It's our lumber industry then, I guess.
Yeah.
That feels like such a huge fucking waste.
I always think about, I don't know if you've seen this, but it was this Looney Tunes episode where they're like in the forest, is like a beaver or like a squirrel or something sleeping in a tree. Tree gets cut down, right to the lumber factory, and then it's panning over the lumber factory with a bunch of gags,
Oh yeah, the one giant tree.
It drops the giant fucking entire trunk log into like a giant pencil sharpener. It comes out as a single toothpick.
That's Well, shit. Now I don't remember the character, but I know the cartoon you're talking about.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess. Lumber gives us toothpicks, but I don't know. I still was hoping our lumber was doing more.
Actually, just today I was looking at old Hammond lumber commercials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did
ham and egg, ham and cheese, ham and lumber.
Yeah, that's a main staple, all right. Or hold on, how about this one? O'Reilly.
Auto parts. Well, that's everywhere, ain't it?
I thought they were local.
O'Reilly's. Yeah, O'Reilly's that's national, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like when I found out Red Lobster wasn't fucking local.
Wait. I know O'Reilly. Hold on.
I believe you. That's just sort of devastating.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there are a couple in I was about to say Jersey. New Jersey.
Yeah, good old New Jersey.
Today I found that the Martins lady is on the USM faculty.
Dude, I've taking classes with her.
That is amazing.
I know her, Carmo Sanders. She is an interesting lady.
I always show people that aren't from Maine that commercial, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Did you know? I forgot this, but like, did you know that she ran for governor against LePage the second time?
No way.
Yeah. She that's why she doesn't work at Martin's anymore, because she quit over in disagreement with him.
Wow.
And I found out, because I've been doing the campaign shit, and so I've been meeting a lot of older people.
1 second, we got a 5 on here.
Oh, hold on. Or just all right. Just croissants. Gonna turn the. I muted your audio to make sure that it wasn't gonna blow out the fucking speakers of the listeners. Oh.
That's really wise.
Yeah. But I've been meeting a lot of old people, and like, I was talking to a very lovely couple the other day, who knew the last family descendant, right? Like the last family owner of Martin's. And apparently he really regretted not firing LePage.
Wait, what did LePage do at Martin's?
LePage was the general manager of fucking Martin's.
What? No way.
That's what he's known for as a businessman. He was the GM of Martin's.
I literally never knew that.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't anything, you know. But
yeah.
He sold himself as this fucking businessman. Jesus, what the fuck? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Carmo quit Martin's because she was like, "I think you're a bad governor,"
Yeah.
and he didn't like that. And then she's
God bless you, Carmo.
Huh?
God bless you, Carmo.
Yeah, she's fun. You know, she's exactly what I want out of like a small college acting professor. You know. She's just sort of fun and goofy.
That's good.
Yeah. So tell me.
I'm glad to hear that. That's comforting.
Yeah, there are still good things in this world.
And they're worth fighting for.
So tell me about this maple syrup shit.
Okay, so it has to be the nights have to hit below freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Like 20s is preferable.
Okay.
And then the days have to be above 40.
Okay. Oh, so that would have been like, when we used to have fall, those were fall temperatures.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's just been too hot in fall because that makes sense. Yeah, we really haven't had fall in a while. It just sort of goes to winter.
Not like balmy climes with insane random cold snaps.
Yeah. Well, that's some fun local news. How's New York?
Man, it's alright.
It's alright.
It's been 1 year since Cuomo resigned.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Wow, that feels a lot more recent. Well, I mean, good.
Yeah.
So, since we're in New York, let's talk about some of the American news that's happened recently, as in the last few days, as in today, also.
Has there been American news today?
There has been American news today, if you can believe it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Attorney General of New York has been going after former U.S. President Donald Trump. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. He was the president? David, it says on my screen here that Donald Trump was the president of a country. I don't think that's right.
Oh dear, you're thinking of Elseworlds.
Oh, of course, right. Elseworlds. Well, anyway, regardless of if he was the president or not.
Doing story again, yeah.
What?
You slipped into Doonesbury again.
Oh yes, of course. I've just lost track. But regardless of if he was the president or not, he's being hounded pretty actively by the AG for a wide variety of offenses, mostly relating to his business practices, which
artificially inflating
the price of his company and then deflating it when when financially appropriate.
Yeah.
Which is about as crooked as I would expect from Donald Trump. But it resulted today in his subpoena hearing, finally, where he pleaded the fifth from 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon.
That's a workout.
Yeah,
now,
it is.
Pleading the fifth, it doesn't, it bears a certain appearance. I'm actually, since we're talking about a former president, I'm going to quote a former president here.
Mm-hmm.
When you plead the fifth, it makes you look guilty.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I think, which president am I thinking of? Donald Trump said that.
Oh, right, Donald Trump. That's right. Donald Trump was the president, and he did say, if you plead the fifth, you're a mobster. So, kind of an exciting day, and
the same sentence he did say that he was no fan of Bill Cosby, so he might have been lying through the whole thing.
He might have been lying through the whole thing. It's possible. It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, I mean, so let's talk about civil versus federal cases, because there's more to talk about with Trump being sued, which is fun. So there's the idea of the presidential pardon, right? And Trump said 1,000,001 fucking times that, well, if I get impeached or if I get attacked or whatever happens to me, I'm just gonna pardon myself. First of all, the jury is actually still very much out on whether or not a president can pardon themselves.
It's kind of like a Bojo situation, right? Where it's just nobody ever thought someone would be that much of a dick.
Yeah, no one ever thought that they'd do it. And now it's here, and everyone's like, I don't know. So it's very much a limbo gray area. But even assuming that a president can pardon themselves, the presidential pardon, and I only found this out today, the presidential pardon is for federal offenses. It is not for state level convictions, because we have a very messy, very complicated, very divided judicial system. And the suit that the AG is bringing is a state level suit. It's New York, so it carries a certain weight, but it is a state level suit, and so that means, even if he could pardon himself, which I don't think he can, or I don't think he should be able to, but even if he could, he couldn't pardon himself for that.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty exciting, because, as a former president once said, you sure look guilty if you plead the fifth.
Yeah.
And he pleaded the fifth all day, like all fucking day. Which is a feat. Like, it's a feat in and of itself to just sit there and I believe what he exactly said was I refer you to my previous statement, and he just said that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Clearly,
that might have saved time.
It might have, yeah.
Yeah, that is an Epsteinian feat.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was an interesting day in New York for the New York AG, and of course this AG's case, looking into the Trump Organization, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there is a state level case and then there's a city specific case. Is that right?
I think it's just the one. Unless I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure it's just the one probe.
Because the AG is what's her name?
Letitia James.
Yes, Letitia James. I I think there's a New York City aspect of it, but maybe I'm making that up.
I genuinely think it's I might be wrong, but I do think it is just the one state level. Did you see the statement where Trump called her racist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was reading. I was like, en route to the. I know way. Come on.
I know what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of the Manhattan DA. But that case fell apart a couple months ago. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking. But the AG's case is, it's fairly broad, and it seems like, I mean, again, I'm an outside observer. Obviously, I have a fucking bias against this. I want him to fucking lose. We're all sitting here hoping that at some point they're gonna get him on something. And if he really sat in that court all day today pleading the fifth, I think they probably got him for something, and the specific charges, about false valuation of his company. And for people who aren't following it super closely or don't necessarily know what we're talking about, so if you actually, here's a good way to talk about it. The show Shark Tank, right? One of the questions everybody the billionaires on Shark Tank ask the potential entrepreneurs is, how much do you value your company? And that number, that valuation, is based on total assets plus expected profits plus expected growth. So it's a complex formula. That's the rough distillation of that. And that number is what you use to raise capital, to raise money. So if you went to a group of investors and said, hey, here's my, like on Shark Tank, when the entrepreneurs go into their, those investors, they say, hey, my company is worth this amount of money. I would like to borrow some money from you, or I'd like you to invest money in my company to, to build some new thing, whatever it is that you're selling or creating. I need some money to do that. These are what the fundamentals are, and based on the value of your company, and if that valuation is high and looks like it's going to continue to grow, then an investor might want to involve themselves. And so what Trump did was artificially inflate that number anytime that he needed to bring in investors, which is a crime. That's an absolute fucking crime. That is the crime, by the way, that Elon Musk is trying to fight Twitter over.
Because of the bots.
Yes, because of the bots. That's what that whole bot thing is about, because he is arguing that Twitter overvalued themselves. And everybody with a brain is saying, no, that's a stupid thing that you're saying. You stupid, stupid man. I'm very excited to see how that particular court case goes. I've been following it.
A direct quote there?
Yes, it is a direct quote from me. Quick sidebar in the Elon Musk bit. His entire case rests on the idea that Twitter bots are a negative impact to the valuation of Twitter. But even if the bot numbers are as high as he says, and it's unlikely that they are, that is an asset to Twitter. That's not a demerit, that's an asset. That means that your site is worth spending money on to purchase bots. That's like saying that there are too many pages on Facebook, Like, it doesn't... That's not a negative. That doesn't devalue the nature of the company. Maybe it devalues it as a social connectivity site, and that's what, Musk and his supporters are trying to make a case about. But, like, that assumes that the purpose of social media is for people to meet and connect and not to sell people things. Because that's what social media is for. It's to collect data and sell people things. So if you've got a bunch of...
People care about it enough as a tool to really use it as a tool.
Right, exactly. So it's like, it's a crazy thing that he's saying that if the, and again, they're not, the bot counts are very, very likely not that high. And even if they were, it's still a fucking asset to the website. Like, what are you talking about? You're just mad that the stock price dropped fucking, $20 after you bought it. And also, Musk is being investigated for almost an identical crime that it's almost exactly the same crime that Trump is being investigated for. And that's artificially manipulating markets. Because that's what Trump does by overinflating the size of his company. That is a market manipulation to attract investors, right? Which is a fucking crime. But
I'd say that Musk is a lot more subtle at it, where instead of being like in a business meeting where it's like, yeah, this much, Musk just like says stuff that makes his company actually worth it.
Yeah.
Like, he says some stupid shit, and then his company is worth less, and then he acts like his company is worth less, and then makes money off of it, and then it's worth the same again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a much more social game versus the on paper mafia shit that Trump does. You know,
imagine a world where you could make money trolling.
And it's this one. But what's also fun about the Trump situation is not only did he do that first crime, he would also artificially devalue the size of his company when filing taxes, which is another crime. That's a second crime that he committed. And I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that one too much. What does this all mean? It means that he's committed to fairly serious state-level and federal offenses, and the state is going after him. And the federal offenses are believed to be part of the ongoing, one of several ongoing federal probes into his business practices. It's just gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out.
I mean, I don't know how much that this is a departure from status quo. He's been doing this shit and getting out of this shit. This is like, Mr. Trump, are you an unethical businessman? Like, he could have been charged with like unethical business practices for most of his adult life, and he's been fine. This one, I'm not like, oh, get the shackles.
It should be noted too. He probably like, it depends how much they get him for the tax crime, the tax evasion, and how shielded he is. The part about Trump that we always keep saying is that he's smart like a fox. He's been very, very crafty for decades at doing obvious crimes in the open and getting away with it. He's a grifter. He's a crook. It's incredible how many people have forgotten that over the last 6 years. Like, in addition to, if you're on the left, he's a fascist who's going to unravel the fabric of America. A true statement. And if you're on the right, you think he's the second coming of Christ for some fucking reason. But what he really is a fucking grifter. Like, on top of all that, he's a grifter and a crook and a mob boss. And that's just who he is. And that has been true for decades. We used to make movies parodying him in the 90s. Like, pick a 90s villain, and they're all just modeled after Trump. I mean, fucking Biff Tannen from Back to the Future in the 80s is modeled after Trump. It is incredible that we've all forgotten, exactly what kind of crimes he's up to, and they're mostly small time, quote unquote small time, but they're dumb small time financial crimes. What?
Business. They're business crimes.
Yeah, they're business crimes. It's white collar crime. Why I'm enjoying it so much is just because, I think they're gonna get him. I do think they'll probably get him, because I don't think he has a lot of goodwill left in New York. I think a big part of why he was always used to getting around it is because he was still fundamentally a New Yorker and a celebrity. He was a piece of shit, but he was a piece of shit. It's that kind of thing. But now he's former President Donald Trump, and I think the patience has run out. What'll come of it, fines, probably fines. I doubt if he'll do any jail time. I'm fairly certain he's insulated himself well enough that he won't have to do any jail time. But they'll probably seize quite a lot of his assets, and that'll just be nice to see. But
He'll have to fines. He'll be like, my fellow Americans, they're after me again.
Yeah.
I need your help to recoup the losses from this crooked Democratic probe.
Yep.
And everybody's gonna give them their money and be like, I can't believe the New York AG is a baby eater.
yeah. And they will think she's a baby eater. You're right.
Fucking whatever, man.
But, there is a federal component to this, and that's the tax evasion, and that relates to some wild shit that happened was it yesterday or the day before that this happened?
The Mar-a-Lago raid?
Yeah.
I don't think that's about taxes.
No, but it's part, I suspect it's part of the broader, that's part of the broader federal probe. Because the tax, the scope of the Fed probe right now seems fairly broad, and more as a transition point for anything. I bring it up just to talk about the fact that the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago out of the fucking blue. It was incredible that they managed to get away with it without anyone hearing about it up until it happened, and they carried off boxes of shit, and the stated purpose was that they were recovering documents. There is from the analysis that I've been reading and following, the assumption is that he walked off with a bunch of classified shit.
Well, he did.
Well, yeah. The question is that classified shit, is it covered under presidential privilege where hey, you can't keep this, but he'll get a slap on the wrist, or will it be, hey, you've committed espionage,
Well, I think that unless people are really unless Merrick Garland, hold on one second. Unless Merrick Garland is kind of a fucking idiot, and I know Merrick Garland isn't entirely for this, entirely on the hook from this, but unless the Department of Justice and the FBI are complete fucking idiots, the FBI raided a former president's home. That's nuts. And the reason that what is it? If you get raided by the FBI, you have a 72% chance of conviction.
Yeah, it's close to that.
Yeah. So, the reason for that is you don't send the FBI to somebody's place unless you know that you got it.
Yeah.
So, again, he did take classified documents away.
Yeah.
It's 15 boxes of classified documents. And they were just like, hey, man, you can't do that. And they showed up and took it. And then, what was the other time they subpoenaed the documents, and they were like, you got to give us this. And it was like, okay.
Yes, yeah.
This wasn't a subpoena. This was
a raid. It was a full raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a reason for that when they had previously employed other measures.
It's either he's an obstinate piece of shit and just refused to turn over what they had asked for. In which case, it will be, shit, I'm trying to remember the act that I'm thinking of. It's not the Espionage Act, but it's related to it. Anyway. If it's not espionage, if it's a case of mishandling and mismanagement, he'll be slapped with a fuck ton of fines, maybe jail time, but more than likely he probably won't get jail time. But they'll slap him with 1 million fucking fines, and he'll be in deep shit. And according to the statute of the particular law, he will be disqualified from office. Now, caveat, giant pile of fucking salt. It's a statute, and legal experts have said that the Constitution is likely to override the statute no matter what the statute says. There isn't really a constitutional provision for it, so that part probably won't hold up. However, if it's found to be espionage, then that's an absolute fucking violation of the
Don't Spy on America as a Sitting President Act.
My brain said 14th Amendment, and then I paused in my tracks and went, I don't remember if it's that one, because every amendment passed in that particular 30-year span had like 1 million fucking subsections. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna double check.
14th Amendment sounds right.
I think it's the 14th. I'm 99% sure it's the 14th.
I remember a lot of pundit talk about the 14th Amendment.
There we go. 14th Amendment to the Constitution. Yeah, 14th. Yeah. Rebellion or other crime.
Yeah, that's the one they were trying to hit Cawthorn with.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He absolutely. He will absolutely be in violation of the 14th Amendment. And the 14th Amendment, while also being a constitutional amendment, and so having weight of Constitution, is backed up by provisions in the impeachment clause which lay out the grounds for disbarring an individual from taking higher office. So, like, if he's found in violation of espionage, then he's fucked. That's it. That's over.
That would also be a very real, like, legal crisis for the country on par with like if Pence or Trump and his lawyers were basically like, no, we won actually, and then the country's just kind of like, what do we do now? Yeah. Because if you bar Trump from office, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they'll be riots.
But it's the rules.
Yeah, I mean, there will be riots, there will be lawsuits, it'll be a fucking nightmare. I'll throw it out there again. I'm not trying to stick around and see what happens, personally, but it's going to be, and it's, again, this is Department of Justice, and the Department of Justice is very, very fucking slow. Most people don't think Garland is going to act on this until after the election.
They did it now, right? Because they usually don't do anything within 90 days of politically significant elections.
Yeah, they took the stuff now, and so they'll have to wait until after the election to continue it forward, unless they had brought something forthright, and I suspect they're probably going to want to go through the documents first. A, make sure they're all there, and B, maybe he took some other stuff. I think it'll probably be until early next year before we see some more out of this, but certainly Trump's already screaming about it.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was pointed out to her. I was like, oh yeah. Everybody's like, you better release that fucking warrant right now. I want to see the list of items that they needed from our president. Trump and his team have the warrant.
Yeah.
And the list of items.
They could just release it. Not that the Trumpites either know that or care, but, it's all part of the rhetoric, It's about keeping the narrative that Trump is the victim here, and not a crook, because he's a crook. who used to just tear up and eat memos that he would be sent to. Remember that shit?
Yep. Also, though, it's interesting that they kind of like, they've already set the story. Like he said, I don't remember. In some statement, he was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they planted it.
Oh, yeah.
And now Marjorie Taylor Greene's being like, I think they planted evidence, guys.
Yep. And people eat that shit up, you know. But it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out, both in New York and on the federal level. You know,
Yep.
there's just so much swarming around his head right now, and this is Trump. You know, he weasels out of everything, but you know. Maybe this time it'll stick.
And again, I'm not sure how. I don't know, like it might be inconvenient if he gets convicted of some shit in New York, but I don't know how interested I am in that because like, oh, he's gonna face business like fucking penalties and fines like he's done how many times. But I don't know, man. Unless you're a fucking idiot or you literally just don't care. You don't FBI raid the former president, especially Trump,
Yeah.
unless you got a fucking damn good reason. I was reading an article that was I was like, yeah, true. When they were talking about like the normal strictures that you need before a warrant is approved for a raid, and he's like, and this is for just like a normal warrant. It would be less scrutinized for literally anybody else than ex-President Trump.
Well, he is both an ex-president and he's that particular fucking president. Yeah, I mean, my attachment to the New York probe is really it's a bit of Trump derangement syndrome. Like I'll cop to that. I would like to see something stick, and I would like to see something stick that he can't deal with. Because the real scary crisis that might come out of this is like, what happens if if someone is running for president who is actively under not just massive criminal investigation, but like a level of criminal investigation that could result in him, being an actual illegitimate president. Like forget all the I always used to take issue with the attitude of a lot of folks, and I get that I know the Electoral College is a whole fucking problem and a half. It's a pain in the ass, but it is our system, That's the system.
That would be like, not my president.
Yeah, it's all that shit. It's like, no, I don't like him either, dude, but he is the president, you know what I mean? And like, we want to have a conversation about like the structure of our elections. That's fine too, but like, he is the legitimate president. The same way that Biden is the legitimate president and Bush was the legitimate president, and like it's the system. You don't have to like it. It is the legal system. But if he's under investigation for espionage and he gets found guilty of espionage and he wins, well, then he's literally an illegitimate president, That's a constitutional crisis. So I'm kind of hoping Garland doesn't drag his feet too long. I know there are certain protocols you have to follow, but maybe get it done soon. Because he's gonna run again, and he might win.
Oh, another interesting effect this has is it has kind of cleared the field for him.
Mm-hmm. No, it has. You're totally right.
I was getting nervous because my prediction was DeSantis is going to run in 2028, and then it kind of looked like he was going to run in 2024. I was like, am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But DeSantis has been making some very vice presidential at most statements since this.
Yep. Yeah, they're all falling in line behind Trump. And you know, it's
They're like, damn it, we're the opposition oppressed party of victims. Who's more of a victim than this guy? He's literally getting raided.
Mm-hmm. It's just good tactical sense for them, you know. Yeah,
and I almost wonder if that was on some level, maybe not intended, but an accepted side effect, because the entire primary season, the DNC has been financially and tactically invested in pushing Trumpist candidates because they think that they can defeat them more easily.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that strategy's kind of paying off.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. It's only 3 months. We're still 3 months out. No,
it's fall season in North Carolina.
I mean, North Carolina's its own fucking thing. I'll be interested. We've talked North Carolina to death. You know, it's a red state, but it's a red state by 2 percentage points, but it's a very reliable 2 percentage points. You know, but I mean, the polling there for that Senate race is fucking even right now. You know,
yeah.
But like that's the story around the country. You know, because in Pennsylvania, Doug Fetterman is just roaring to victory against Oz. Awful fucking candidate. Arizona, our friend Mark Kelly's also doing super well. Ohio, the Republican nominee J.D. Vance, who was a writer, basically his claim to fame. Vance is not doing well against. I believe his opponent's name is Ryan, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me double check that. Vance is down by like 4 points on average, you know, and that's not good. That's not good for Vance. And and again, it's still August, early numbers, can't say anything for certain. However, it is worth noting that it is believed that about half of the electorate has made up their mind by August, and so it's not nothing. You know, it could still change. They could still radically change by the time we get to November. But given where the numbers are right now, it's interesting to see that race in Ohio going down, and included in that, we had talked about Georgia. We talked about Georgia a couple of times. Herschel Walker is not doing well in Georgia.
Herschel Walker is a terrible candidate.
He's an awful candidate. Awful candidate. And he is not doing well. In Georgia. Even a state like Wisconsin. Johnson's not doing as well as he could, you know. Will he still win? You know, he's got incumbency advantage, so, you know, probably. But the latest polling has him down, you know, and they just had their primary there, so it's, you know, it's still a little up in the air. But he's been down in every matchup, you know. So it's important to remember too that Senate races do tend to be a lot more individualized.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still worth taking note of. You know, we'll see how it all plays out by the end of November. You know, we still got time for it. I can share some fucking local news around that. I think you might find interesting. So when they redrew the State House districts, the district that I'm in, the guy I'm running against, right? The Republican Party broke off part of his district and gave it to a more solid Republican north of him. And my guess from talking to the guy is that it's because he wasn't voting the way the party wanted, and so they've decided to offer him up like a sacrificial fucking lamb. Which I think is kind of interesting. So as much as Democrats are, trying to back and have funded Trumpian candidates, it sure seems to me like the Republican Party is also falling in line behind more Trumpian candidates.
Yeah.
So it was always going to be an interesting midterm, but
also, I mean, kind of steering away from the Trumpian candidates aspect, the Senate rhetoric for their chances so far in the midterms has really cooled down for the Senate. For the House, it's still pretty bullish, but McConnell's like, oh yeah, well, you can do a lot with a slim minority.
Yeah. No, it's because he knows the numbers aren't with him. He just, the candidates they fielded in the states they needed to win are just shit.
Yeah.
Across the fucking board.
You got fucking Dr. Oz and football player.
Yeah.
With what 4 kids?
Yep.
4 legitimate kids?
Yep. No. And the House is a whole other fucking beast, but it's worth knowing that it's worth taking note that the generic ballot is still favoring the Democrats after that big the hard swing after Roe. Those numbers dropped a little bit, but it still favors the Dems. So it's gonna be an interesting fucking season. I will be very interested to see how shit sticks out on the federal level.
I know politics aren't sports, but damn, we got a good season ahead of us.
It's a good season. I mean, okay. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, they fucking are. In this country, absolutely they're a fucking sport, That's the nature of our political climate. It's Team A versus Team B. It just so happens that, the literal fate of our civilization is also, in the balance here, but whatever. Fuck it. It's a team sport. It's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of sensationalist America. And if I don't win this election, I'm going to leave. So, I've made that clear a couple times. I'm gonna enjoy it for the what is likely to be the last season that I'm still an active participant. You know what I mean?
It's your senior year.
Yeah, it's my senior year. I'm gonna throw.
Put me a coach. If you don't, I'll walk.
Yeah, yeah. Before we wander too much, because there's some federal news too that's worth talking about. Before we wander too much into that, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on the 100th episode. But I also wanted to again give a big ol' shout out to the fact that Alex Jones has lost his fucking lawsuit and has been put on the hook for $55 million, which is pretty great. Fuck that guy.
And he's not done with his lawsuits yet. Either.
No.
John.
No, he's already about to go to trial for the next group of parents who are suing him. Yeah, they're one right after the other. It is vicious and it is wonderful to see.
Yeah. Did you see that he unknowingly sent his wife's nudes to Roger Stone? Not like he knew he was doing it. His wife didn't know he was doing it.
Jesus.
He sent his wife's nudes to Roger Stone without her knowing.
That's disgusting on a lot of different levels. First of all, betrayal of your spouse. Second of all, Roger Stone? Like, Why? Why?
I don't know, man. Something about that Nixon back tattoo.
Alex Jones is such a fucking psycho. There's always going to be supporters of this crap and supporters of people like him. But I saw a comment earlier that just like, I just sat there being like, what the fuck are you talking about? There was a dude who was like, well, sure seems like it's a fake narrative because and then he'd list all the fucking quote unquote evidence that Alex Jones has given over the years of why it was
Sandy Hook.
Yeah, Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
So why the Sandy Hook massacre was in fact a fake. Nobody knew who those people were. Some of those crisis actors showed up later in the Parkland shooting. It's all the same fucking talking points. But what really got me was the end of his comment where he was like, "Sure seems like a conspiracy when if you question the narrative, you get fucking sued." So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, all of these people talking this shit online, they're getting sued. Everybody that posts on a conspiracy forum, they're getting sued, right?
Yeah.
Oh, person that coordinates a target of harassment.
Yeah. I mean, these people are just so full of shit. So I celebrate with the parents, and I celebrate watching a man like Alex Jones just crash and fucking burn. And let me pick your brain about his lawyer real quick.
Okay.
His lawyer sent all that shit to the prosecution, right? Do you think he did it on purpose?
It's hard to say no.
Mm-hmm.
That would just be so goddamn buffoonish.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that, in court when, it was, whether or not, quote unquote, revealed that he did that, he said, all of them, even the ones to the senator, was trying to do, a fucking treasure map. That's what I would say. If I was the treasure buried on the island.
Yeah. And the thing that really gets me, right, is that if you were actually dumb enough to do this, and the prosecution brought this up, if you're actually dumb enough to do this, you are allowed to declare it privileged information and therefore not usable in court. The prosecution had to let them know that they received this information. They had a week, 5 business days, specifically, but you have a week. You have about a week to declare it privileged information. They knew that they had sent it and fucked, quote unquote, fucked up. And at no point did the defense make any effort to declare it privileged information. So
yeah. I don't know. I think it might be because at this point all he has is cult of opinion.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that, the more he says, the more he's kind of gonna get the people behind him, be more behind him, and the people that are against him, more against him. And that's his bread and butter. That checks out, but then also why would he, the prosecutor said, there's just a bunch of just really weird shit, a bunch of dick pics, his texts where he's sending his wife's nudes to Roger Stone. Why would you include all of that? And I don't know. I wonder if it's that episode of South Park where Cartman pretends to have Tourette's?
Oh, yeah.
And then like his brain is filterless for so long that his brain loses the ability to filter. I wonder if it's that, but like not like loses the ability, but loses the sensitivity
Mm,
or like giving a shit. Where he's just like, yeah, that's unhinged.
it's possible.
Or like it's not logical. Like he knows that part his personality appeal is being such an exclamation point that he's not like carefully crafting his image to be an exclamation point. He's just kind of not tailoring anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking wild either way, you know.
Anyway, it's a piece of fucking shit.
Either way, he's the worst fucking person and deserves every bad thing coming to him. But watch a lot of My Name's Earl, and that man, he has earned some bad karma. But in non-Alex Jones related news, the the Senate has passed the very optimistically named Inflation Reduction Act, or otherwise known as the IRA, which I personally think is very funny.
Biden keeps on his Irish heritage.
Yep.
Trump better be checking his cars.
Here's my fucking thing about the IRA, right? Wonderful piece of legislation. Its name is a lie. Its name is just a lie. But it's a wonderful piece of legislation other than that. They hemmed and hawed enough to get Manchin and Sinema on. It's a far cry from the American Restoration Act, whatever shit they tried to. What?
BBB.
Yeah, Build Back Better. That's right. It's a far cry from Build Back Better. It's no.
The Build Back Better that was always gonna pass.
Yeah. But something is always better than nothing. And honestly, for the something that's involved, it's pretty good. The expansion of Medicaid to be able to negotiate down prescription drug prices that's pretty impressive. I never thought we'd see a legitimate drug price reduction in this country. And it's limited in scope as all these things are, but I at least someone's getting fucking helped. You know?
That's a good piece of legislation.
Like a lot of people are getting helped. This is a lot of elderly people who have just gotten the shit kicked out of them in the last couple of years between the pandemic, and I'm happy to see that. The money that they put in for environmental transitions, is it what we needed it to be? God, no. But hey, I think it's still like 80 billion. That's not nothing. That's a good transition. Those are good subsidies.
It's fully something instead of nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It is definitely something that we have received, and I'm very glad to have received something.
All of the things that they were like, we're gonna do great thing. They did at least a tiny little bit in.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Also, just politically, that's fucking that's great. A big thing aside from the economy, a big thing that was tanking. Democratic approval was nothing happening.
Yeah, because they didn't do anything for 2 years. They didn't do shit.
And now they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta cram.
Yeah, they had to cram, and you know what? I'm glad they did, because another legitimately interesting piece of this bill, and I think a very good piece of this bill, is the focus on microchips. And bringing more microchip manufacturing and rare earth elements into the American economic sphere, which includes, which is why, when we get to the international stuff, but a certain Speaker of the House visited a certain country that is not allowed to be called a country,
Yeah.
But a big part of the reason why she did that was because part of the IRA involves investing in trade with major manufacturers like said country. The country is Taiwan, also known as the Republic
Also,
of China.
she has a huge amount of stock in the company.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, look, she's gonna make $1 billion fucking dollars. She's that's a whole. It's America, man. Everything's got enough kickbacks for the the fat cats who control us, and that bitch needs to be out of government. But
Yep.
it's still a good thing. Like, it's still a good thing that we're bringing microchip manufacturing and microchip trade firmly into America because that's the next big boom economy. As we enter more into the digital age, that's where the money is, and ensuring that industry is propped up in this country will speed along the development of our tech and speed along the the decrease in price and access to tech, which is just becoming a necessity of life. Broadband should be returned back to a public utility, and we need to make this stuff as available to as many people as possible. It's just the way the world works now. So hey, I was surprised as shit to see it, but like.
That's something that's insane to me is so for like grants for utility arrears and just like plain utility payments, the Human Resources Administration will not pay for cable or internet, deeming it a non-essential utility.
It is communication. It is the like.
Especially after what, like a year and a half where your kid had to go to school online.
That's so fucked up. The state level programs will pay for it here. But that's like it should be a public utility. It has to be, especially like. How is cable not still included in that shit? We've had broadcast TV for 70 goddamn years. The night.
Well, I mean, if you had to cut something, I could see cutting it if it was just like TV.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just TV.
It's not just TV. It's
literally
news.
the ability to participate in school and work.
Yeah. It's. I'm. I hate the way that we have. Well, I was gonna say I hate corporatism. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I fucking hate corporatism. I hate American corporatism. I hate it. I hate all parts of it. I hate how we see things that are necessities as luxuries. It's insane. It's perverse. Ugh. Now,
yeah, covers it.
That's it. That's it. There are what is interesting is there are some people who are claiming that because they've labeled it the Inflation Reduction Act, it may actually have a problem, or it may create a problem for the Democrats come the midterms.
When it doesn't reduce inflation.
Yeah, because it's not going to reduce inflation. There was an open letter signed by a bunch of economists that claimed that it's actually probably going to increase inflation, which.
Inflation is cooling down, so maybe they're just kind of hoping that they're going to pass this bill that has everything they said they were going to do in it in small form, and inflation will keep tracking down, and then they can be like, see? They said that everything we were, like all of our agenda items, would create a ton of inflation, but when we passed it, what happened?
Inflation went down. Yeah, I mean,
inflation. We had COVID and Ukraine and all of this. It wasn't our fault, but by passing our agenda items, we actually fixed it.
If it works out, it'll be an impressive. It'll be an impressive piece of political maneuvering. I'm unconvinced that inflation will actually cool down in the long term, just because I don't think that we've addressed the supply chain enough,
It's down to 8.6% as an increase as opposed to 9.1.
It is down. It is down a full half a percentage point. And certainly the stock market blew its fucking lid off today because of that report. Though it is worth noting that the I'm forgetting the fucking acronym of it. QEI. I think it's the QEI. It's worth noting that the report that with the headline that inflation is coming down and especially including oil prices falling. That those numbers only work out if you include the price of oil and food within those metrics. If you pull those out and actually sort of look at why the rest of the general economy, it's more or less where it was a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But what has come down is oil. And
I will say, like, not that that's fixing it and that oil and food is all people need, but if you have been living in an inflation economy for a long time and suddenly gas and food are cheaper, that's huge.
Yeah, and it has. It's had a measurable effect on my fucking wallet. Like it's been nice. I'm not gonna kick a gift horse in the mouth over it.
Yeah, most of what I spend money on is food. I can't imagine if I had to buy gas as well.
Yeah, and a big part of the reason why food has gone down is because we've had the gas to ship it. But it hasn't. Unfortunately, the underlying supply chain issues are still there. Just that everything's backed the fuck up. And I am concerned about fall harvests. And now we're gonna sound like it's fucking the 16th century and we have to worry about the harvest every year. But I am fucking worried about the harvest this year.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's in real danger. The crops are way fucking down because of the heat, because of the drought.
Yeah, we've had large scale maple syrup and sriracha shortages.
Right. I didn't even think of that. We were talking about the maple syrup thing. Yeah, like simple staples like syrup and sriracha are down. And it's.
And as much as I hate to say it, do you ever find yourself like coming up with like an inconvenient fact that like really doesn't fit what you think, and you're like, oh, but I have to be a good thinker about things.
Sometimes, yeah, sure.
All of the, this isn't happening so much large scale in America as far as I'm aware, but the global increased focus on ecologically friendly and conscious farming is going to be disastrous for food markets worldwide.
Yep.
Like the Dutch farming strikes.
Yep. That's starving a huge part of northwestern Europe, right? Like I haven't been following it as closely as I should be, but like they're having real fucking problems out there right now because of the strikes.
Yeah. Also, Ukraine was the breadbasket of Europe, right?
Yeah, breadbasket of Europe and Africa, more importantly. Like northern Africa relied heavily on Ukrainian exported grain, and to not receive that food has been fucking devastating. Just annihilated populations. Yeah, it's yeah, it is one of those. It is one of those difficult aspects of sustainable farming where like we all like our instinct is to say, oh, we're in this mess because of #capitalism, but really we're in this mess because of #8 billion people. The invention of nitrogen infusions, which is what kicked off the modern agricultural revolution in the early 20th century. Fun fact about that guy, by the way, who invented that the process of injecting nitrogen into the soil to keep it fresh longer. Also the same guy who invented mustard gas, and also the same guy who helped create Zyklon B.
Yeah.
And also Jewish. Very interesting guy. Very interesting story.
His wife killed himself because of it, and he was like, "Damn." Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Crazy motherfucker. But hey,
Yep.
you know.
And I've seen, I mean, this is interesting if you think about like utilitarian shit, but it's interesting if you think about how much, because I mean, he was, if you could point to anybody for ending like scarcity based food shortages. Now it's because motherfuckers are greedy and the supply chain is fucked.
Yeah.
But now we have enough food for the world.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean everybody gets to eat, but we have enough food for the world. He's like, if you could point to somebody single-handedly responsible for ending the period of human history where he didn't have enough food for the world, it's him.
Yep.
But also he invented mustard gas and Zyklon B from the same research. So that's good?
Is chemical warfare worth is chemical warfare worth 7 billion people, Because that's how many people he's created. It's 7 billion people. Is it worth that? That's the fucking weight. And it's a great fucking question. And I don't even have a like close to an answer. No fucking idea. But yeah. So it's to get back to the sustainable farming shit, like that is a problem. Is the reason why we don't farm like that anymore is because it can't feed everybody, and so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be really, really fucking tough. And it's only gonna get worse because on top of the sustainable farming issue, we are dealing with the effects of global warming, which are creating famines in and of them, in their own right. And also on that note, the water crisis out west is, it's the start of a 200-year drought. The last major period of drought, and I say that because the last major period of drought the California experienced lasted 200 fucking years, and that was without man-made intervention. So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be fucking rough. But there is, there is some potential relief that could come if California got its fucking act together and started building more desalination plants. Except for the fact that the largest plant that was supposed to be built on, I think, Huntington's Beach, that was going to be able to generate somewhere in the order of 100 million gallons a day, got unanimously rejected for for environmental concerns. And for me anyway, it's another one of those things where it's like, first of all, the engineers have made the case that the environmental problem you can engineer your way out of it. The big concern with any desalination plant is that it pumps a lot of salt water back into the water, the actual ocean water, which will devastate ecosystems. But you don't actually have to do that, and there are ways to move that heavily salted water elsewhere, that brine, and have it not pollute your oceans. Costs a little bit extra, but it's like a doable thing. But even if that wasn't the case, your citizens are fucking dying of thirst. What do you want? The water's not coming back to Lake Mead. That ship has fucking sailed. It is that, the Hoover Dam is not going to be able to generate enough power soon to be able to validate its existence as an electric dam. Like, the time has passed to start worrying about that shit. Build the fucking plant. There's 2 other projects that are working right now. I think one of them is up in San Francisco, and there's another one a little southerly than that, and it's they're both like a tenth of what the Huntington's Beach plant was going to produce, and it's just like it's one of those policies that it's like, I understand that what it is. No, here's what it is. It's fighting the war we should have fought 20 years ago. That would have made sense 20 years ago to not do that. Unfortunately, it's now, and there's no water in California, and your crops are dying, and your people are dehydrating, and so maybe you should just build the damn plant so that your people don't literally die of thirst, you know, like because it's important to note that the country that has done the best with desalination, Israel, generates almost all of its water from desalination at this point. And because of their desalination efforts, they have actually replenished their dried out lakes and seabeds. The Sea of Galilee 5 years ago was almost entirely depleted, and in the years since they ramped up their desalination production, the sea is back to full capacity. They reflooded a sea. They generate so much fucking water that they can sell it to their neighbors in Jordan and in Egypt, Like I get the desire to be as environmentally conscious as possible, but at a certain point,
it's not like if everybody recycles, we'll be fine.
Right? Yeah, it's not. That's exactly it. Like we're not gonna recycle our way out of this. That ship has fucking sailed. You have to act now to save the people who are alive now. We'll deal with the next crisis as it comes. And it's all we can do. And, so it's like this. It's like the IRA. Is it everything that I wanted it to be? God no. But is it something? Fuck yeah, it's something. And right now, something is everything. So I hope those other two plants get built, and I hope that people stop being so fucking obtuse about it, because we're gonna have real problems. We're gonna have real problems this winter. Even here, we're in the middle of a drought in this state, and this is thought to be a drought-proof region. So that's pretty cool. But in again, tangentially related shit, we mentioned that a certain Speaker of the House has gone to a certain country. Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan. She's doing a visit of the Southeast Asia and the South China Sea. I don't know why we're sending our Speaker of the House on a visit like this, but cool, yeah. I guess.
Is that the normal purview?
No, not at all. She's not a diplomat. That it's akin to sending the chief whip of the Labour Party on a round trip of Europe. It'd be weird. It'd be fucking weird. They're not a diplomat, and they're not an executive officer. She's a legislative. She's the head of a legislative body. She's not even the head of the entire legislature. She's the head of one half. And you hit the nail on the head earlier when you were like, she's got a bunch of fucking money and microchips, and that's why she went. She went to get a trade deal so that she can make a bunch of fucking money. And it's weird. It's weird that we sent her, but we sent her because she has a vested economic interest. But the fun part about it is that the Chinese are really pissed off.
Yeah.
They're really pissed off that we sent her to Taiwan, because not only is it insane that we sent the Speaker of the House there, the Chinese really don't like it when people acknowledge Taiwan's existence. And so they have been doing some pretty active, saber rattling and quote unquote military drills in and around the South China Sea, around Taiwan.
They shot her down.
They certainly tried. They shot rockets at her. Thank God they didn't, because that would have been a whole other fucking. We'd be having a very different conversation today if they'd actually shot her down. Personally, I suspect they probably weren't actually trying to shoot her down, just to.
Yeah, if they were actually fucking kill her, I think that would be.
It was more posturing. It would be a fucking major international crisis if they'd actually tried to shoot her down. But it just sort of goes to show that, like, Comrade G is really trying to consolidate his little world. And it's unclear if he'll succeed. I don't know how much China news you've been following recently, but they've gone bankrupt.
Oh.
They have shut down the banks.
It's good to hear it's not just us.
Yeah, it's not just us. No, it's them too. It's everywhere. It's anyone who's majorly affected by the supply chain. And it doesn't help that Xi's economic policy the last 2-3 years has been heavily focused on consolidating power back into the state and removing the quasi market socialist economy that they've had since Deng. And like, it's not going well. It's obviously not going well. But the latest development was in the last couple weeks, like they have avoided bankruptcy by shutting all the banks down. That's sort of how they're getting around it. You can't go bankrupt if nobody can access their money. But of course, nobody can access their fucking money, and so there have been mass protests and not full riots because Chinese army cracks down on that shit pretty hard. But there have been mass protests, and it's become a real fucking problem there. It's compounded by the fact that they have been continuing to impose draconian fucking lockdowns in a lot of their cities over COVID outbreaks. Although, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if the local governments are like using it as an excuse to crack down on protest. But it's been a fucking mess.
Damn, yeah, I've not been hearing about that.
Yeah, well, because the Chinese state media don't want to report about it, and we in the West have been so focused on our own inflationary crisis, and Ukraine, that we've kind of just let it slide. I only found out about it. I've been sort of aware of Xi's reforms, but sort of the more recent shit I only found out about because of the Nancy Pelosi trip. Like, when she announced it, I sort of started to dig into what had been going on in China recently, and turns out they've been having a major fucking economic crisis, which I think is part of why Xi is posturing so hard at Taiwan to, like, kind of be like a look over here, don't worry about what's going on locally, don't worry about it, we're doing some other shit, you know what I mean, some distraction. But I'll be very interested to see how that shakes out. I'm the Communist Party leadership is in fucking chaos right now. Because Xi's also been culling it. So I'll be very interested to see how this continues to unfold the next couple of months. I remember probably 2-3 years ago, around the time that the Hong Kong protests were happening, right before COVID hit. My arrow my dart at the board was that the Communist Party probably wouldn't make it another, at least in its current form. I'm sure it'll reinvent itself, but like the state as it exists, probably won't make it another 10 years. Just because its survival was largely as a result of Deng's reformist policies, and like Xi has made it very, very clear that he is not interested in the Dengist market socialism. He would like things to return back to full state control. And China's just too fucking big, and it's just too important an economic player. It'll cause havoc. It'll cause havoc on a global level too. If the Chinese market's shut down, and it's been causing problems because the markets have been so all over the place. But if China actively pulled itself out of the global economic sphere, it'd be a huge fucking crisis.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have anything else to say about that. Just giving you a bunch of.
I don't know too much about what's going on right now there.
Well, that was the point, don't know. They don't want you to know. But, what else would I want to... Oh, Here's something that's happening that I found out about yesterday. Some more international news for you. Bosnia. You know where Bosnia is?
Vaguely.
It's one of the Balkan states, former member of Yugoslavia. Bosnia and Herzegovina, which is the full name of the country, was the major conflict zone during the Balkan Wars. The Yugoslav conflict after the breakup of that state. And the very fragile peace has only been maintained because of a UN and European mandate. It is worth noting that Bosnia and Herzegovina is nominally governed by a union of 3 presidents from the 3 major ethnic groups, but by all practical matters is actually governed by someone called the High Commissioner, who is a foreign representative from the NATO alliance. Typically, they've been European, though there was one American. And they have just full executive authority to manage that country. This country is still very much in a reconstructionist phase, and what has transpired in the last couple of months is that the Serbs, and it is worth noting that the Serbian president, not the president of Serbia, but the Serbian president within Bosnia, is a close ally of Vladimir Putin. As these things often are. He has made it abundantly clear that the election that is coming up in October is a referendum on the continued existence of the state. And he has gotten the president of the Croats to go in with him on that. So there could be some more wars in the Balkans in our near future.
Okay. Well, nothing bad ever happened there, right?
No, nothing bad ever happened there. Not a single thing happened bad in the Balkan states. It was perfectly fine. It totally wasn't an active conflict zone until 2006. So that's fun. There might be more war in Europe in our near future.
Yay!
And what really this does is it impacts the continued support for Ukraine in that crisis, because either Europe's gonna have to pivot to deal with that, which they almost certainly are, or they ignore it and that whole region descends into fucking anarchy again, which is good for nobody. Yeah, more problems for Europe.
Yeah. That's gotta interject one of my favorite Simpsons jokes is when Krusty the Clown is like, "I'll just air a rerun, the kids won't notice."
Yeah.
And he's doing the show, and then he's like, "Oh, what's that? All right, stay calm, children. The Balkans have just been invaded." The contested territories lie within the Adriatic Sea.
Yeah, that's pretty much par for the course. That's what we're gonna see again. So I'm keeping an eye on that. And also in continued international conflicts is the last bit I have in the international sphere. I guess brief side story while I'm thinking about it. Liz Truss is likely to be Prime Minister of the UK. Liz Truss is the successor to Boris Johnson, and she's most famous for at the Conservative Party's convention a couple of years ago talking about the pork markets.
I thought the kind of standout until recently was
Rishi Sunak. Yeah, I did too. So did everybody.
Really, didn't want to bungle that.
Yeah, everybody thought it was good. My money was on Rishi Sunak, man. It seemed obvious, and the way the numbers were falling apart, it just, not falling, well, kind of falling apart because I was backing Kelly Mordaunt, but the way that the math was working out, it seemed obvious that Rishi Sunak was going to win. Problem being that polling of actual conservative voters has revealed, and the election's coming up soon, and it is worth noting that it is not a general election. It is a party-wide election of conservative voters, because that's what happened, is that Johnson has resigned as leader of the Conservative Party. It just also so happens that at the current time, the Conservatives are in power, and so it is sort of nominally a vote for Prime Minister, just by the quirk of the Constitution. And the members of the Conservative Party are backing Liz Truss for some fucking reason. It's like 2-1. He's unless a miracle happens on election day, like he's down, by 2-1. He's down by 30 fucking points. It's a fucking slaughter.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been following UK news for the last week and a half, but before that, he was the heir apparent.
Well, that was the obvious thing, right? Is that he seemed like the natural continuation of the government. He was a moderate version of, of Johnson's policies, whereas Liz Truss was, basically a grifter. She voted Remain. She was a Remainer. B, she's pork markets lady. Rishi Sunak was Chancellor of the Exchequer. He's got actual standing to become the next leader and Prime Minister. And the fact that everyone's backing Liz Truss, I think it's, and from what I've read and from as I understand it, the reason why is that she's very, very useful to the real right wing of the Conservative Party. You've got the Johnsonites, this sort of new right, these anti-Europeans, the party that's been in control for a while.
Right.
You've got the Thatcherites, who are neoliberals. They're just the neolibs. And then you've got the One Nation conservatives. The One Nation conservatives were led by David Cameron and also nominally Theresa May. And they're Democrats. That's the easiest comparisons. They're fucking Democrats. They're whatever. It's not my favorite, but on a tolerable level of shit. Whereas the Thatcherites are Reagan, and the Johnsonites are kind of not quite Trumpian, but they certainly hang out in the same crowd as Newt Gingrich. They live in that realm, minus the religious conservatism aspect of it. But they're really into the racial politics. And they are, they're extremists by UK standards, and sure seems like they're still in charge, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What blew my fucking mind, right? Because here's how I thought it would work out: is that the One Nation guys would go for Sunak because Sunak is a Thatcherite, and that's really what it broke down. Is Truss was Truss is a Johnsonite, Sunak was a Thatcherite, and Mordaunt was the One Nation girl. And people believed she was going to sweep it early on. Obviously that didn't fucking happen, but it seemed to me that the One Nation folks would turn around and back Sunak rather than Johnson. But apparently not. Mordaunt herself fell in line behind Truss, and so the One Nation crowd has just lost their fucking minds, as far as I can tell, and a lot of them are backing Truss, and I think it's because people fucking hate Sunak. He was a bad Chancellor of the Exchequer, and he was almost certainly going to lose the next election if he was Prime Minister. Now, Truss is probably going to lose too, but Sunak is wildly unpopular with anybody but conservatives. But it turns out he's also unpopular with conservatives. So,
well, that's a place to be in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it sucks for the UK. Godspeed for them. Final international news story of the night. Back in conflict zones. The Rwandans are invading the Democratic Republic of the Congo again.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. They're at it again. If you really want to have a depressing evening, I would recommend a read into the African World War, fought largely in the Democratic Republic of Congo and also surrounding states. It is harrowing. It is wild that it's not talked about much in the West, considering just how far-reaching it actually was. The Rwanda.
Well, that's Africa.
What?
Well, that's Africa, man.
Well, yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Point to me on a map why I should care.
Yeah, well, Rwanda's up to their old tricks again. That's all I have to say about that. We just sent a special envoy over there to try to convince them to stop. For all the good that'll do. So that's what I got. You got anything? Got anything else you want to throw in there?
I guess I don't have anything super in the headlines. I now have something in common with the Republicans in this country.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by Hunter Biden. What a guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially with all of the quote-unquote politicization of intelligence agencies and congressional inquiries and blah, 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 blah. 23 is going to be the year of the Hunter Biden inquiry.
Yep.
And I, for one, can't wait.
I'm curious. I'm certainly curious.
I know he's probably just kind of your average shitty rich guy, politician, businessman. And he definitely has had, nepotistic, unethical business dealings. At the same time, the pathos, I spend, well, I don't know if you can spend hours, but I spend a lot of time going through all of the leaked stuff from his laptop and his iCloud, and it paints a picture of just a tortured man. I want to see a play about this guy.
I can see it.
It's crazy. It also, I think I've talked about it before. This guy that I went to college with and was friends with for a brief period of time. His dad is the co-host of the War Room podcast with Steve Bannon.
Oh yeah.
So his dad is in charge of the Hunter Biden laptop investigation.
Oh my god.
So that's what got me started on it, and it's crazy. And also, it kind of feels dirty, but the amount of personal stuff that you can just look at, you can find conversations of Biden offering to pay for his kid's private schooling and him yelling about him that he was an addict because he was never there. Just you can read full family drama conversations, complete with pictures. It's nuts.
That's kind of exciting. I might have to go dig some of that stuff out.
You really should. But honestly, everything leaked from his laptop really made me like Biden a lot more.
Really?
As as a politician, I think he is at best unexciting, at worst, and probably just kind of corrupt and self-serving. I think he's a decent guy.
Interesting.
He really seems to want to take care of him and his.
I can see it.
There's screenshots of conversations where Hunter's yelling at him, and he's like, fuck you, the reason I'm like this is because you and blah 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 blah, and you did this and you did this, and he's like, okay son, love you, do you need that money for your kids school deposit? And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, okay, I understand, I love you son, I'll talk to you soon.
God damn, Joe.
Yeah.
God damn, Joe.
Yeah.
I respect it. I can respect it.
Yeah. I saw a tweet where they were like, I love how people leaking Hunter Biden's shit was supposed to be a gotcha for Democrats. He has spent the last, like, 15 years, jet setting around the world, living in luxury, doing drugs, and banging an assortment of exotic women. Like, was this supposed to make Trump voters kill themselves? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. To answer your question, I don't have anything newsworthy, but I've been really preoccupied with Hunter Biden lately.
I think that's a perfectly acceptable use of your time, man. You know,
He's very fascinating.
It's brought me some joy just hearing about some of that. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, Hunter, it's another one of those. It's another fucking email scandal thing, where it's like, yeah, it is like it's a problem that that Hunter Biden has a fuck ton of nepotism that's allowed him to do a lot of shitty things, but also that doesn't invalidate anything that was going on with Trump and his family, like both things can be shitty at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I'll be very interested to see how the Hunter Biden shit works out, because it's very obvious that he's a real piece of shit, and apparently even more of a piece of shit than I even thought. So.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Hey.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, it's just you can also find a screenshot of his text conversation with the prostitute that stole his car.
I'm looking that shit up as soon as we're done.
Yeah, where he's like, she's like, man, I gotta run, and he's with her, and she's like, oh, can I go grab something? He's like, yeah, you use my car, and then he's like, oh, get me this. Hey, you there?
Oh my god.
What are you doing in my car? Bitch, are you fucking crazy, you guy?
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I'm looking that shit up as soon as we're done. That's funny as shit. Oh god. So in summary, things are fucked as usual, but there's some interesting shit. It's fucked, but A, it's fucked for everybody, so you got that commonality, and B, there's some bright spots on the horizon. There's some bright spots going on right now.
Just getting fucked up.
Yeah, shit's getting fucked up, but it's getting fucked up kind of interesting. So. Okay. That's fine. It's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting month.
It's not boring dystopia.
It's not a boring dystopia, and I can always take solace in that.
And it's not hell dystopia yet.
We have a little bit of time.
Enjoy the sweet spot we got it.
Enjoy the fucking sweet spot. Exactly. Enjoy the fucking sweet spots while we got it. That's a great note to end on, actually, yeah. So, hey, listen, this has been Plain Talk. This program airs every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Additionally, you can check out the White Pages podcast, airing every Tuesday night, for now, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out our Twitter, at Pages_podcast, for all the latest news and updates, and also our YouTube channel at youtube.com/whitepagespodcast for previous episodes, including last summer. Those of you who have been with the show for a long time, remember we did a series on the process of imagination and the nature of the of imagination and all that wonderful stuff. That series is finally uploaded in its totality. It's about 10 hours. I am very, very proud of the work we did on that. I'm glad that it's all up and out there. So you can go listen to that right now if you like what we do here. And if you like what we do here and you'd like to stick around for the live shows, give us a little, throw us a little follow. Throw us a follow if you're new here. We appreciate the followers. We just hit our 100th, and this is stream 201, and that's pretty fucking cool. So, yeah, thanks for sticking around this long. Thank y'all for enjoying our content, and we will see y'all in the next one.